All right, this is going to be a match from the Boston Major, Avangar versus Renegades on Mirage. This is in the preliminary stage. I'm not certain if this was a knockout match or not. I seem to recall that Renegades did play Avangar in a knockout match, but, well, nevertheless, I did not watch this match, which is one of the reasons why I'm casting it. I feel like I could be more hype in the moment, but if I had already watched a game, like the Cloud9 phase games, or like anything just about in the playoffs, I would have already known what happened, so it's good that I wasn't able to watch all these matches. Well, anyway, Renegades is going to be starting off with a fast hit there on the B-bomb site. Ustillo gets a great kill there on Quaker after being... not being fragged from the bomb site. He does manage to pick up a double kill. Demasik coming in with two of his own, and now Demasik with the triple kill. Demasik with the quadruple kill. Avangar pick up the round after a very aggressive start there from Renegades, who had lost on the entry into the B-bomb site, but quickly traded out by Ustillo. He's the only player to pick up kills here for Renegades. And Demasik, he's already got 4,850. He could potentially pick up the op if he wants to, but I would not advise that this early into the game. And no, he's just going to go for the MP9. Renegades, will they buy into this? Will they try and force off? They had a relatively close round, at least in the beginning. But they're not going to be doing that. They're actually going to be only holding on to the Glocks. Finally, Naf and Ustillo do buy some P250s. Azur himself. And a flashbang, so maybe they could try and find a kill. It still only is SMG so far. Buster, the only player bought up onto an M4. And Krizen's going to be the one holding the middle, which Renegades has taken control of. And with good reason, too. As the mid player had only been holding onto a UMP. It's going to be actually very little damage for how close that grenade was to Nifty, but he's going to be brought down to 74 HP. Buster, this should be an easy frag for him. Easy for any professional player, that is. And Azur finds one there on a Demasik, the player who'd absolutely ravaged them in the first round. He's only able to get one on this following round, but still that was with an SMG, so that's going to get him quite a bit of money. The Vanguard there on 2. Finally, Renegades, they're able to buy up, and with a few kills there, it's going to assist them slightly. As far as utility goes, they have 4 smokes to work with, a little bit of flashbangs, but not very many Molotovs. But the thing that can play to their advantage is the fact that Demasik only has an MP9, Quaker and Krizen on UMPs. So if they're able to get favorable aim duels versus these submachine guns, they can potentially get into an advantageous position to the point where Buster and James can't even get a foot into the round. They're going to be able to take control of the middle here. That's probably going to be actually running into... I really should go offline in Steam. But we're actually going to be running face first in the op. That's going to be Naf going down first. And JKS finally catches a great shot there out on the Demasik. He's made it for his 4, which generally does favor the terrorist side. Here's JKS. He could come in with another kill. Nifty is going to be able to assist on that JKS. It could have been absolutely detrimental for him, but Azur finds a frag of his own. Now it's 3 versus 2. Now 1 versus 3 for Jame. He's the player with the op. He has the best argument for being able to win this round, but he's coming in from CT, and Nifty, he's not going to be playing for that. And now that Jame has gotten... spamming through the wrong side of the box. Ooh, what a shot there. Very difficult to hit those. Very tiny window of opportunity. Still a 1 versus 2 in Jame. He's very suspicious that a player might be lurking behind him. That's not going to be the case. I'm not certain what he's used to in Kazakhstan, but that's generally not what happens in most Counter-Strike matches. He spots the tip of the head of Azur, but he's not going to get a shot like he did there on a Nifty, and now he does have the kit, but 2 players going to be peeking from vastly different angles. Well, not too different, but different enough that it's very difficult to isolate them with an op. And as such, he's forced to fall off and save, hold on to this AWP into the next round. Doesn't even get the kill. JKS will take him out. And JKS may be able to even recover the op here. Will. A little bit of difficulty pressing E onto it, so he has to drop his gun. But all is well as Naf only picks up the UMP. Nifty. It's pretty nifty with this op. I do have to say so. And James going to be able to pick up another one. Him building a bank in those first 2 rounds that allowed him to forward an op for 2 rounds in a row now. Or was that somebody else's? No, this one is his. It appears that he then dropped somebody else's last time. And Buster, with a very aggressive peek there in underpass, gets a good shot onto Azur. Instant double dink. And Nifty, he's looking to try and refrag this. It's going to be Renegades left scrambling here, trying to pick up a kill, trying to even it up into over 4 versus 4, but they're going to be slowing down the pace. And Avangar Playing a very controlled setup right now. Just about anywhere Renegades wants to go, they're going to run into an aim duel. Whether they go through apartments, through underpass, up catwalk, through window, or up the connector. There's going to be a player positioned up in Palace. That's going to be JKS. But he's not going to push, and will Avangar. They have a feeling that it's going to be hit onto the A bomb site, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case considering the bomb's that far towards B. Unless they can find a frag into this, and even then, that could be lulling them into a false sense of security. The bomb actually will be committing over towards A. So Avangar, they made the correct gamble here. This could potentially be a bloodbath as Nifty doesn't anticipate that angle, and he's going to be losing the op. That's $4,750 out of the round, just like that. Falling to a UMP. Now it's a 3 versus 5 of Avangar. They should be winning this round 100% of the time. JKS get a good kill there on a Crizzen. Little semblance of a chance, and Ustillo, who had been boosted through window, finds one there on a quicker. So now Demasic is going to be the one up close, and Ustillo can only find one more. Jam coming in with 2 kills on the AWP. He doesn't die this time, and as a result, he will make the difference here for Avangar. It's interesting to see more Kazakhstani teams in the major. If you want to consider them part of Asia, this team appears to be pretty white outside of Crizzen. He does look Asian, I believe, though I don't know much about these players, so I don't want to make judgments like that. Whereas Gambit had been mostly from the Asian side of Kazakhstan. So I'm not sure it's fair to call these teams Asian or European. What we can call them is absolutely phenomenal, as they don't even take a point of damage except for on Demasic. Only taking like 1 or 2 shots to the body. Speaking of Demasic, he's already 7-3 on the 5th round of play. We're going to the 6th, and he can potentially pick up even more kills. He's had an absolutely hot start to this game. The 4K and the pistol round, and it seems that he's getting almost a kill every single round after that. Kills in 3 out of 4 rounds after that. Unless he got a double in any of them. I can't really do the math that well or recall everything, but a very deep Molotov there from Avangar to try and take control of ramp, and that's actually not happening. They're very passive in their setup, very laid back, and if Renegades plays their cards right, they could potentially be getting a bomb plant, especially considering how these smokes went in. That's going to be blocking off CT side completely. It looks like they've tried to make an avenue for themselves into the A-bomb site from the Palace position, and that's going to get them the site. It's going to be in a 4 versus 4. They're incredibly low. Nifty on 62, Azure on 25, Naf on 20, and Ustillo on 74. But it's better than nothing, and actually they have a 3 versus 4 here as they find another kill. Demasic and Crizzen, the ones I've been praising so far in this game, are going to be the ones to fall. Quikert finds a great shot there on Azure, and that's a very important kill, as Azure had been the player holding the M4, and that had been the player who's going to be lurking around trying to get going on the backstab. But as I speak about backstab, Buster comes in from Palace. Naf somehow gets a kill there on a Quikert, and a second there on a Buster. I'm incredibly surprised that he was able to get that far, and he's brought down Jame Low. Or was Jame Low before? I don't remember. But they barely get that by the skin of their teeth. Avangar, you really shouldn't be giving up this many frags on a round. You really shouldn't be giving up the bomb plant in situations like this. It was a double eco for Renegades. But an excellent one at that. A show of strength from the Australian players. Although, man, if Avangar win this game like they've been on track to so far, that'll actually be quite amazing. Because then you could probably definitively say that Kazakhstani CS is even better than Australian CS. I mean, there was one good Kazakhstani team, Gambit. They've run into a bit of troubles recently, but I've always believed in them ever since I saw them at the MLG Columbus qualifiers. That they would be an excellent team. I've been really tooting their horn ever since they had Waylander, but the roster's changed a large amount since then. It's only gotten better, except for the removal of the Zeus, I believe. The pick up a Fitch was a bit of a nerf for them, but they're still the current major holders as far as this major is concerned. But Speaking of Kazakhstan, Jam gets a good kill there on Azur. Why am I saying gets a good kill every single time? Ah! And Naf drops Jam through the wall in return. That's the op of the round, and Jam has had a high impact in these rounds so far, so it's an important frag for Renegades to pick up. Ustilo, he's been great on getting these entries, especially around counter. He won't get the second in this round, though, and well, it seems that every time he's gotten a double kill so far, it's doomed them to failure, so maybe pick up this round, especially now that Naf has picked up a kill there on the Dema 6, and now it's a 2 versus 3, and a UMP. Looking into the back line, isn't going to matter. Naf wins the aim duel. Of course he does. He's Naf Fly, and he has an AK. So Renegades, they survive with 3. It's optimal for how they had been in the mid-round. Already having lost that many players, but really you want to survive with 5. And immediately Avangar, now that Renegades has double their rounds, will pull out the second op. Buster is going to be the one holding on to that. Jame probably playing towards A, and Buster, I don't remember who he was playing. I believe he was playing on Cat before. Probably going to be playing somewhere at B. I don't know how the double op setup would go if they both tried to play towards mid. Which is why it's likely going to be the case that he's playing, watching in the apartments, and that's going to be exactly what happens. The aggressive play there by Jame doesn't scout out anything. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything, as Renegades, they're very heavily leaning towards A. And as they come back now, this could be a great mistake. Prison picks up a kill, and that's going to be more than enough here for Avangar, who player down below. Molotov didn't even have to go out with that. Actually, I stand corrected. He did. The Molotov did manage to reach that far back, but he takes out Ustilo. It's good for him, and JKS and Naf are both incredibly low as they try and retake this, but it doesn't really matter too much considering the fact that Buster and Jame both have ops. One of the low players says JKS falls where Nifty is going to be left alive here. 100 HP in middle. This gets very difficult. Bomb is planted here for him, but Jame from the off angle gets an incredibly quick shot there on a Nifty. Hadn't even been able to finish crouching, so now Naf. Oh my goodness, in unison they peek out as Naf peeks out. It's almost like they had a sixth sense for that, and Quackert picks up the kill. They've again recovered the double op setup. And Avangar, they hold strong into these rounds. Renegades, they're left scratching their heads, and they're left with very little money. Somehow they're able to buy up the AKs. Ustilo, only on a UMP, however. So he's the wink. He's the leak. The fuck. The weak link in their armor. You know, he's been one of the players who's actually been going off for Renegades. Over 100 ADR in this game so far. You know, his team only has a 25% share of the rounds so far in this game. Potentially, had he had the UMP, he could have taken that fight better, but it doesn't matter. Azur will take him out. So he could potentially recover the get rid of the UMP. The M4, and Dema 6 going to die himself. So now it's a 3 versus 5. Azur, he's open up an avenue in this round. That's all he's going to open up, though. And he's going to open up an opportunity for Avangar to get back into this as he goes for an overly aggressive push. Jame, you can't be missing that shot, but if you want to win this round, JKS. On the repeat, we'll take out Jame again through the box, and Quackert, he takes out Nifty. That's the opper down, but it doesn't really mean much when the op could be recovered. Well, actually, he hadn't been an opper. It's the opper for their team, but he hadn't had an op. Whereas Jame did have the op, so Renegades, if they're able to recover that, will be big as far as money is concerned. And yes, Ustilo has picked up the M4 like I said they would, and JKS falls down to Quackert. So now they have the 3 versus 5. Avangar have done well to bring this back, but it's not going to matter. Nav and Ustilo do pick up the kills. That one with the M4A4. So Renegades now half the rounds of Avangar. As Avangar, they're forced to eco in here. Quackert actually buying up quite a bit of money. I don't know what their angle is here. Try and let the round loss bonus stack up a bit. If you full save, you could potentially buy, but they're going to be going for the force buy off the impulse of Quackert now. Jame picks up the scout. He's been excellent with the sniper all tournament so far. He's been excellent with the sniper in this game for the most part. Nifty barely misses out on that shot on the Quiet Cart, who was the first to buy up. If he had lost that deagle, that would have been everything in the round. They're going to have to do more than just play the trading game, although playing the trading game is good when you only have pistols. JKS, he knows it has to be an eco round, so he has the Mac 10. Reconnaissance player, but not the one who's first to fall. Quikert actually does pick up the kill there. Down to 41 health, picks up the AK-47. Goes out the Molotov, and now goes for another aim goal. Very aggressive from him. Almost too aggressive. Azur gets brought down low, but he does get the kill in the end. So now 4 versus 4. Avangar still very aggressive. Buster's recovered that AK-47 that had been lost before, and a Molotov will block him off the angle. Brought down to half health. Brought down, and Naf will bring down Prison. JKS, could he be caught reloading? Just barely gets out by the skin of his teeth, but it's not going to matter. Demasik gets the kill on the repeat. James, that's not an op. That's just the miss there on a Naf. She would have been taken out in one hit had he been hit by that scout, and that's going to happen when he gets the repeat. Naf not anticipating the angle. How could he? How could he expect that James would be this aggressive in the 1v3? And when he's going for the jiggle peeks, he actually bakes at the shot there from Nifty, but neither of them connect onto each other. So it's just a stalemate at this point, and really that tends to favor Renegades as they are in a 1 versus 2, as they know his position, as he doesn't have a kit, and as he runs out of time. They're very disciplined. He could have tried to go for the peak, but he doesn't. And he'll be able to hold on to his gun because of that. And now, James, you screwed up the jump. Oh, no. He's still able to recover the op because the bomb had exploded it. I guess he had enough time anyway, and he barely gets out of that alive. Azur, if he had just come around the corner, guns blazing, pre-firing that, you probably could have gotten a kill there on the James. But recovering the op in that situation is really important. Surprised Nifty let him do that. Let him thread the needle, especially when he knew that the only position that James could have come through had he survived after the bomb explosion was through market. So the likelihood that he goes back through window is incredibly high if he wants to re-aggress at all. I understand that he could have gone through connector, but still not really as likely. Well, Avangar, we're on a low buy here, and that's going to prove... They're on a low buy here, so they have to hold the close angles. Already one player, that's Buster, dying on A. He had been a cat player before, and well... Now there's only one player at B. If Renegades has realized this, they're going to realize that B is pretty much open for the taking, and I believe they are now as Azur is boosted up into the window. He's going to be able to cut off any rotates. That's likely going to happen for the knife out. He's not going to be expecting that. And a 2-man advantage is gained for the Renegades, who now are going to be able to pinch onto James here. James trying to isolate the frag here on a Naf. And he's going to miss. Naf had his back turned. Sometimes this is going to be the hardest shots to hit, but still. James really inconsistent right now. Sometimes hitting excellent shots, sometimes just missing the ones you absolutely have to hit every single time if you want to be on a professional team. If you want to be a salaried player, and much like he might get dropped from the roster if he continues shots like that, Nifty drops him. Chasing, why the hell not? Renegades. They're in a commanding position. You know, it's interesting. Avangar could have already gone through, but it was Quantum Beltor Fire that went through. 3 versus 2, and since 100 Thieves was not able to play in the major, I believe they're competing for the next spot. So the loser of this game goes home. The winner of this game has to play Team Liquid, and the winner of that game will advance. Now, Avangar, at just about every single stage in qualifying up to this point so far, had won out versus Quantum Beltor Fire. They came in first at the major. QBF came in second. I believe when qualifying for the major, that was a double elimination bracket or something like that. I'm not entirely... I don't remember completely, But I believe, if I recall correctly, Avangar had won that match too. So Avangar finally lost when it mattered the most, and now they're left in a situation where they're playing Renegades. Renegades, they've never advanced past this point, at least not for a long time. At least not with a lineup that even faintly resembles this. I believe they have 2 players from the team that originally got out of the groups. That would be JKS and Azure. Probably the 2 best players in Australia. And, well, the best of Australia isn't good enough. Crizin, he comes in from behind. Gets excellent kills there with the flank, and Renegades, they could be throwing away guns that they really didn't need to throw away during this season. Oh, Quikert! What is that? Naf doesn't take really any damage there. Completely blind, spraying, well dabbing. Doesn't even matter when your enemy is just completely panic spraying. Well, anyway, Jam, he has enough money to potentially afford light armor. He's going to do that. Left with $50 now. He has the op. That's going to be important for them if they want to be able to pick up this round. Avangar and Renegades, who wins this next round, is probably going to win the half, because the next team is going to be on a low buy in the following round. And wow, these matches have been a brawl so far. He's playing connector, and again, they're going to be boosting up into the window position. Azure has done this on multiple rounds, and Quikert, he's starting to be able to expect this. And, well, he's definitely heard that. Trying to move through the smoke. Who will find the other player? Will it be Azure or Quikert? They both have a chance of doing this, and will Quikert, I believe he spotted him. They're just passing like ships in the night, and Quikert, he's going to be able to get the knife. Backstab, quite literally. And that could pay huge dividends for them if they end up picking up this round, and if he ends up saving, they could potentially mean a drop for a teammate. That could potentially mean a defuse kit. That could potentially mean a round as Azure gives up that frag. Now Avangar, they go for the double peek. Get a little bit of damage on a Nifty. Not enough to justify re-peeking, however, and the Molotov comes out now. Quikert just taking control of parts of the map that Renegades had previously tried to hold us off angles, and Naf is going to be falling from the window room, so Quikert's done great so far to really punish these Renegades players who find 2 frags of their own. It was a 2 versus 4, in the blink of an eye it's a 2 versus 2. Now Quikert, the only player with an AK-47 on the Avangar side, and he has 5 health, so now JKS, he's got to do it all. James, if he misses a shot, that's not going to happen. Not even enough time. JKS will be forced onto the Galil. He hasn't had the hottest game so far, only 7 kills. He's released on his team alongside, I believe, Nifty. Yeah. Nifty, and well, you still is going to be very aggressive, very early in the round, getting up, getting a double kill there on Catwalk, completely readjusts there in a Buster. And that's important. Quikert now has everything to do on this B site, and he's doing so far. He's giving huge plays. Oh my goodness, a 3K now leaves Nifty here in the 1 versus 3. Does get a good shot there on a Quikert now in a 1 versus 2. Pre-fire's coming in from Crizin. You know the position of Nifty, but he's able to frag, and now he's created a 1 versus 1. Jame versus Nifty, the op of Jame. Probably not the most ideal weapon to do this, but Nifty almost walks across James' line of sight. Now he's going to be getting aggressive. He knows this is for all the marbles. Whoever picks up this round probably finishes the half of the next round as well, and Nifty is going to be getting aggressive as James, he falls back even further, crouch walking out of the market position with the op. Looking through the window, and he knows that Nifty's up to something. Trying to get a Nifty play here, but will he anticipate it? Yes, he will. Doesn't even matter. Nifty caught looking the wrong way. He thought maybe that James had walked out quietly, but that's not going to be the case. Quietly, he gets an off shot because this game doesn't want to play the sound of it on the last frag. Here's what I was talking about. Renegades, worst on of the CZs, worst on of the UMPs. Very limited utility. That's also true for Avangar. Renegades, they had no business losing that round, but Quackheart, I mean, what can you do when a player gets a triple kill from that position? Sometimes, you know, players just hit their shots, and that's all that they really do. Maybe a little utility flush him out, but a good leg shot there. Brings them down low. Now could be easier for these UMPs to get the kill. Comes in with another shot. And a second. Let's go for the pre-fire, and Naf pounces on that opportunity to try and get a kill. The player had just taken the shot, so he was completely exposed and vulnerable. And, well, it's going to be very difficult. It's the Alamo here for Renegades in the last round, as Nifty gets a headshot there. Now in a 1 versus 2. 4 bullets left in the chamber, but he's only going to find 2 there on a Demasik, and he's going to miss them all. Demasik coming around, trying to pre-fire with the Deagle, and what was Nifty looking at there? Demasik picks it up, but barely in Avangar. Finished the half 6-9. Azur, who had started this half hot, really just cools off towards the end of it. It's really been a story of Naf and Ustilo, who combine for 26 kills apiece here for Renegades. Really been all over in Naf. He's made this team so much better. It's amazing, honestly, that for the most part, I'd say the 2 players on Renegades who are imports are the ones who carry the team. Can you really call them imports when they're technically the Detroit Renegades and they play in America? Or are the other 3 imports? Now that's a good philosophical question. Anyway, we're underway with the pistol round. Pretty much Kevlar across the board. JKS is the one to hold on to the kit. And Naf and Nifty trying to take control of it. Quackheart coming in from underpass. Just shot there on a Nifty, but JKS responds with a 1-tap. Good night. JKS, will you have more 1 in the chamber shots? That is to be continued as Avangar free so hard they're lagging out of the round, and as I say that, Buster takes an aim duel with Naf. Trying to win it. If they can win it, they probably should rotate over to the B site, but Ustilo with a quick refrag. Now that James has found a frag on JKS, it's suddenly a 1 versus 2 for Ustilo, who's caught wildly out of position. Avangar had done well to take map control in a way that baited out the rotations from Renegades and isolated the kills. So Ustilo gets a good shot there on a Demasik, but can't follow it up, and Prison will win the pistol round there. It's a teammates for Avangar. 1 kill for every single player. And Ustilo again gets a double kill on the pistol, but with no yields.
These boys have got a bit of an arsenal and they don't mind using it.
Renegades, they've opted to force up. They know at this point they can't let the match slip away any further. CZ's in hand. Nifty, the player who's supposed to play in the off. A lot of Kevlar needs to be the first ball as a result. Most aggressive. Azur and Naf find kills of their own, but it's a 3v2. Round going incredibly quickly with most players concentrated at middle. Leaves a bad taste in the mouth of Avangar, who really don't know what to do with it now. They've slowed down considerably. They're trying to find a pick, trying to find a Renegades player getting overly aggressive, but that's not going to happen considering how few bullets they have and their firepower. So Avangar, they could really go anywhere they want, and where they want is going to be the correct play. Renegades, they've taken a game bull at B, but it's not going to matter as Avangar. They just go to the other site. Still very cautious about this. They don't want to give up any more guns to the CZs. It's important that they don't. Especially when you have 2 AKs. The smoke from Cat, even if they were playing from B, even if they were somehow able to hit the long-range CZ shot, will come out. And Naf and JKS, they just want to save. They know they have no real justification for going for this, especially when you're trying to retake with CZs, which, once expensing the first 12 bullets onto the first player, can get very difficult to reload. And considering that they don't have a kit, it's even more of a reason not to go. Avangar, they lose a few players, but that's really the cost of playing for them at this point. 5 rounds over Renegades. If they pick up this one, they could potentially go double. And JKS somehow managed to find an AK. Good pickup for him. Very important. Very, very important that he picked up that AK, because if they want to have a chance in this round, that's it. Because he picked up that AK, Renegades is actually going to be buying a little bit more than they should have. They're not going to fall for the same trick twice. Now, as the UMP doesn't have the second frag buster, pulls out the AK fast enough, pre-fires the corner, brought down to 13. Had NAF been able to do that and create a 2 versus 3 with the bomb down and potentially recovering an AK, they might have had a chance, but this is too tall an order for the Australian god. Oh man. Renegades, what are you doing? You know, you've been in the scene forever. Done pretty much nothing with it. Now you're losing to some team that just came out of nowhere. You're getting crushed by them even. I don't even know if these guys are from Kazakhstan. They gotta be because they've made it to the major. Jeez. Like, I would think that Tangri would be like the number 2 in Kazakhstan, not Avangar. Buster, he's very aggressive and he's very quiet about it. JKS finally does hear him on the top. He's going to be able to get the kill because of that. Gets a double actually on a Dema 6 there. 2 instant headshots as he's coming around the corner. He's brought down to 22 health. So potential refrag is in the cards here. But Avangar, they've got to play their cards correctly if they want to win this. 3 versus 5. Not an unwinnable situation, but a very unlikely winnable situation. And well, JKS, the player who was low, is going to be brought down. And Naf gets shot in the back by Crizzen. No, it's not going to happen. Naf, he swings around and he gets that kill. Excellent and pivotal in the round. It could have been a 3 versus 3, but it's going to be a 4 versus 2. And Naf, he's not going to be anticipating the same position from Connector, but it's not going to matter. Jane barely gets him as they're not able to hit the shots. And he's going to be traded up by Quaker, who's brought down to 6 health. Renegades barely missing out on some of these frags. It's going to cost them 2 lives. Now, Nifty and Ustilo are the ones to wait. Nifty has the op, so if Quaker somehow manages to take the aim duel with him alone, then he could potentially pick up this round. But they're going to try and stick together again, taking a gamble towards B. But again, the Avangar opts to go at A. Comes in. I believe Steel has heard that. He's going to be rotating in immediately. So running play, trying to get a shot through the box. Doesn't matter. They get the bomb down. That's really the best they could hope for in that scenario.
Defusing.
Renegades find 7. Full buy for Avangar. James been absolutely going off. 23 kills for him. 23 and 10 in fact. He's plus 13 on the game so far. Been phenomenal. Even though he's been missing some easy shots. Imagine if he didn't miss some easy shots, what he could be doing right now. Major damage into this game. Well, speaking of major damage, that's going to be anything but with that grenade. Falls just short of Ustilo. Blocked out by the wall. Because counter-strike grenade physics. We've passed the minute 20 mark in the round, and Renegades look to be trying to set up a crossfire in middle from connector and catwalk accordingly. Smoke goes very deep, leaves Naf in front of it actually in prison. And fire. Naf is not certain if he was spotted or if he guessed, and Ustilo finds a great shot there on the Buster. Re-health himself, so now the XQ's going to come out onto A. They know that he's low. But it doesn't even matter. Ustilo comes in with another one, so now they're having second guess. Finally going to move out on the site, and JKS does get the kill. Ustilo killed by the Molotov of James, of all things. James coming in with a second. Can he ace? He's done a lot with the op, but that's too much. Even for a prodigy like him. God. I've said the joke so much that I start to screw it up. You don't even know what I'm talking about. And it'd be weird to just tell a joke to NVIDIA Shadowplay. But here, I'll say it. I'm really smart. I think I'm a child progeny. That was my terrible attempt at comedy. That's probably going to get me disqualified from this thing. Alright. Renegades are looking a little bit better in these last rounds. Finally getting the trade game going and finally getting the winning rounds thing down. I think they forgot to do that in the previous iterations of this lineup and previous rounds of this game. Seems they finally have a winning formula. Nifty throws a Molotov out, trying to force players out of position, but he smoked out himself and forced off the angle. As they're going to be the one to regress in middle. Throws a nade that's going to land towards the pass and a Molotov to follow. Quiet Kurt, so we can potentially be aggressive and not have to worry about being shot in the back. Meanwhile, the Mistake tries to run up a ramp, but meets his demise at the hands of Nafly. And Azur, he's in a great position to potentially pick up multiple kills. James not looking where he is, and he's going to be climbing up even further, trying to find that kill in the Quiet Kurt, but he's going to be completely blinded. Helen Keller experience. Is James pushed up even further? Will Azur anticipate this? I don't believe so, but I don't think James is actually shot at the angle, and Azur is going to be able to thread the needle, coming in on the kill in Quaker, and now he's going to be shot in the back, or in the front. Stuck with his knife out, but it's still a 4 versus 2. Only one player lost so far, and as Buster comes out, trying to get that kill on the player in jungle. JKS takes him out from another angle. James, how's he found an M4A4? I don't know, but he's lost it. Man, even on these rounds that Avangar is losing, James is still finding frags. He's on 26. Most in the server by a mile. The next player on 18, that's Naf and Quikert, which are tied for it, as well as Ustilo. But James really seems to be pulling away from the rest of them in this match. it's going to be an aggressive play at B. No mid control, no A control, nothing. Well, James is going to be very quick out. He's going to be the entry with the op, and he gets a great flick shot onto Nifty. Now looking towards Catwalk. Azure takes out one, doesn't get the second. A good trade from Crizin, but a failed smoke is not going to matter as James actually gets the kill off that failed smoke. He wouldn't have been able to otherwise in Ustilo. Does find the shot into him immediately after, but a double kill into the round of the op picked up by his teammate. That's going to be Crizin. Leaves JKS in a 1 versus 3 and leaves Avangar with a round 1. Renegades, they look so good there just for a moment, but it's only going to be a moment as Buster has his moment and he gets a good shot there on the JKS. Gets a good shot there, gets a good shot there, gets a good shot there. I'm saying that too much. And other days I'll be saying drops him, drops that guy, drops this guy, dies, kills, whatever. Believe me, I'm more diverse than this. I'm just trying to do this all in one go, really. That's just the phrase that's sticking me right now. James, some grenades to try and signal that they're going to middle. And in reality, the only players from middle are actually coming from the underpass. Biker trying the same smoke he had before to get deep smokes into connector. And a Molotov into window allows them to walk around freely in the bottom of middle.
I'm throwing smoke.
Doesn't matter though, Renegades really weren't holding anything in mid. They've opted to go to the extremities and hold from there. It's going to be more difficult to be proactive, more difficult to have rotates, more difficult to fall back into sights, but it's defensive. You really have to get that. Oh my goodness, Jame. What a shot there on a Nifty just as the smoke blooms. Finds it, and he's been winning the same duel every single time, Jame. This guy could be our next Kenny S, to be honest. Definitely a player Gambit should look into getting, but JKS gets one. It's a one and done spot there up on the base, and the one and done is all he's going to get. Crizin gets a kill into 2 versus 3. Renegades, they're committing towards B. Are they saving or are they taking a gamble? I don't know. Avangar, they've slowed down this push, and this is actually going to be incredible from them. They've completely duped the Detroit Renegades. As Azure trying to go for a backstab, but that's really not going to matter when all the Avangar players are pushing out onto A. They've finally, I think, read this. Especially now that the Molotov comes out. Naf is calling that to his team, and Azure is going to be running around with the knife on the rotate. The bomb goes down, but it goes down on the other side. So if Avangar take control of the middle, it's not even going to matter that Azure is coming in from the back. They're taking their time with this, but no smokes, or the one smoke on the hands of Azure won't matter, especially now that he's dead. Now Naf, they know his position, they know he's low, and they're just going to take the aim duel, and they're going to win that every single time. Avangar on 14. Who could have pictured this? I mean, wow. Uprising the CIS region, I guess, this tournament. No, I'm sure a lot of people had Avangar as their 0-3. Probably more Quantum Bellator fire, considering Avangar was #1 in their minor. Really, this is all thanks to Jamie. He has 29 kills. He could definitely get 30 by the time regulation is finished, even if they end up losing this game. Renegades, they have to take a timeout here. They have to figure out what's going on. JKS hasn't spent a dime yet. The rest of his team is down to $0 or $50 respectively. And finally, he's going to go all in. Down to 0 himself. Only $100 between all the players on Renegades.
Roger, be safe. Let's go, my friend.
Unless they pick up this round, all hope is lost.
Grenade out. Throwing flash.
Well, that's not the way to start it. Ustilo just dies there in the middle, and Jane picks up a kill onto JKS, the player who had been unsure as to whether he wanted to buy, and well, not buying would have been the right call. Azure picks up a kill there on a Quackert, but it might be too little too late. 46 health. Molotov, 2 flashes, and an AK-47. He's the solo player on B, and that now that Avangar has realized that he's a solo player on B, they're going to be gearing up to go there, even though they know that he has the AK-47, so he could do some real damage. But that's not going to happen. Demon6 just going to walk this frag on him, and now leaving Nifty here in a 1 versus 4 with 1 minute left on the clock. Avangar, they could bleed him out for the time, but they're just going to be walking casually onto the B-bomb site, just sauntering their way in. And Nifty has to save. Just hold on to this Kevlar. It's more important than even getting a kill. He makes the jump up, but that's his demise as he throws the flash, drops down, and gets shot in the side. Prison hits him with the Glock. The Vanguard, they're very thorough in how they approach this, and in doing so, they survive with 5 players on match point. Renegades, they have to force into this round. There's no sense in not forcing. Their backs to the wall here, balls to the wall, and well, the KS is actually going to be the one to aggress, and I'm not sure if they know that Azur's here. Buster he anticipates the angle, though. He throws at the Molotov. He's pre-aiming the position. Quikert puts Molotov into connector and a flashbang over towards Cat. They're using a utility, pretty much all of it, just to take control of this, and well, it's going to be incredibly efficient at that, as Nifty does fall to the Molotov of Quikert. They've gotten an incredible amount of Molotov kills this game. I don't know how that's happening, but the Avangar, there's no way they could lose it at this point. As they're the only player, even with a primary, and he's the player who's the lowest. 5 versus 3, 3 Molotovs, flashes, but that's not the way to start it off. Ustillo actually long range there on a Demasik. That's not a name duel you win every single day, but Naf picks up the UMP. There's a chance. I would hold my tongue on this one. Naf is going to have to come in with a huge play before they even get the bomb down, but actually that's going to be Azur, who can't even hit the planter. Oh my goodness, Naf. Oh, what a play from Naf right there. Gets 2. Can he find the 3rd? He's going to be able to find that now with 2 bullets. Oh my goodness, Naf! What the hell was that from him? They were a 3 versus 5, a 1 versus 2. CZ and a UMP, that's all he had. And a Avangar, they somehow die. Naf, the hero, plays. Pulling his team through this, dragging them through it, kicking and screaming. Avangar, they're forced to take a timeout. They're wondering what the hell just happened. They've been hit so hard. Still a very terrible buy here for Renegades. 2 UMPs. But you can see that, I'm sure. Like a radio broadcaster just calling out absolutely everything that happens. The bomb's going to be left in T-spawn, which indicates that it's going to be a slower round. Nevertheless, James still very aggressive, trying to get out in front of the smoke. But as the smoke comes in, he's going to throw one of his own out. Renegades has to be wary of the fact that this could be a hit into B. So they're able to isolate the catwalk angle without having to worry about bench or van. Unless a player were to spam through it. Or Demasek, again, trying to get aggressive on the ramp. He hasn't been too great at that, but it's their default. And that's what they have to do. Quikert, again, in underpass. It seems that these rounds are just about carbon copies of each other. Jam, with the run boost out in the middle, doesn't see anything. He knows that he's going to call that to his teammate. JKS tries to re-aggress at that point. But he's flushed out by the Molotovs and the smokes. Tandem, Quikert. Yeah, the middle of Avangar at large is backed out of mid, and they're going to be trying to cheat over towards A. Waiting for their players to rotate a little bit more. The bomb's still in T-spawn. If Jam can find this frag, then they're going to explode out on the site. If not, they may choose to re-aggress elsewhere. But Nifty, holding from CT. Find the frag down to Buster as the Molotov comes in over towards Firebox. Grenade and sandwich from Buster. Buster's actually going to get a kill, and Krisen with another one. Leaves Naf here again to do it all for his team, but he's not going to be able to do it. This time it's 2 versus 4. Azur looking for the shot. Spots that one player, and it's going to be you. Steelo. 1v4. Barely even hits a shot, so Avangar pick it up 16-10, and Renegades are out of the major.